Hello, my name is Soraya Bowen. I'm based in Luton, Bedfordshire, but originally born and bred Londoner who sought the concrete jungle of London for Luton for a different way of life and a slightly more greener and scenic views. I'm applying to become a trustee of Ramblers because the organisation has played a transformative role in my life and interaction with the outdoors. I have been a long-standing member now for 8 years, and without my local group, I would not be the walker I am today. I have now completed multi-day hike challenges like the Commute Peak District Challenge to summiting Ben Nevis twice in winter conditions in January, and attending my first alpine training course in the Alps last year. But that all really started with joining Ramblers and taking on my first long day hike, the Green Sand Hiking Challenge with Bedford Ramblers. And what can I say? The rest is history. I believe the Ramblers' new strategy is the way forward to elevate the organisation, to ensure it be here for the future. And I feel that my current and past experiences, especially with working with Living Streets, strengthened my understanding of active travel around walking, campaigning, to my current role as a fundraiser for a large charity. I have and am equipped with experience of bid writing, prospecting, and pitching to corporates, to local community fundraising, which I feel will be invaluable along with my DEI lived experience and training. Makes me equipped to work at a strategic level, financial, and have the governance awareness thinking needed to contribute as a board member.
Hi, my name is Robert Craig, and I'd love to have the opportunity to serve as a trustee for the Ramblers. Walking has always been important to me because it's such a simple way to get outdoors, connect with nature, and feel part of your community. I've been a walk leader and a volunteer with the Scouting organisation for over 40 years, working in the UK, Switzerland, and the US. The Ramblers mission is really important to me, promoting access to paths, open spaces. It's really important to help people get outside and discover and enjoy walking. In a world where many of us spend time indoors and on screens, it matters more than ever to get people outdoors as part of their community. What I'd like to help the Ramblers achieve is really around continuing to grow its reach. The idea that getting people outdoors and involved and understanding the benefits of walking to help them feel that walking is for them, not for somebody else. It's for everybody out in the UK. What can I bring as a trustee? I value good governance and thoughtful decision making, strong organizational culture and values, and specifically creating an inclusive culture. I can bring hopefully an understanding of the critical volunteer community from my time working with the Scouting organisation. And as a trustee, I'd respect the heritage of where the Ramblers has come from since 1935 and supporting the long-term vision, making sure that our paths and outdoors is protected and promoted for future generations. And I hope I'm able to join you on that quest. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Matt Mallender. I live in Hazelmere in Surrey. I would like to be a Ramblers trustee because the outdoors is my nourishment, whether it be my daily dog walks, whether that be cycling or walking, whether it be on the coast to coast or the Camino de Santiago. I've supported the Ramblers for a few years now, mainly for their advocacy work, and I believe the enjoyment that I've had in the outdoor world, I want that access for all sectors of society. But why me? I've been a charity director in communications, campaigning, and fundraising for over 25 years. Previously, with Cycling UK, which is a mirror image of the Ramblers, but for cycling, and currently for a children's charity. In campaigning at Cycling UK, alongside the active travel community, we secured a record £2 billion commitment for walking cycling. In fundraising, I've won six-figure sums from UK and European governments and from corporate sponsors and everyday donors. In communications, I've created a national cycle network of all cycle routes, and run National Bike Week, and recently coordinated 2 Guinness World Records for the longest games of rugby at 34 hours. Thankfully, I didn't have to play, I just had to organise it. But in summary, I believe I could be a good trustee for the Ramblers to help you deliver your strategy, as I bring an understanding of how to win the hearts and minds of the public and funders, but also a firm and professional check and challenge to UK government. So thank you for your time in listening. I look forward to your vote.
Hello, I'm Lyndon, and I wanted to talk to you about why I'm keen to support the Ramblers as a trustee and how my professional experience and personal insight, I believe, will be of assistance. So I live on the edge of Thetford Forest, which is a wonderful place to live and to walk. But even when I've lived elsewhere in Essex and Kent, I always loved walking, particularly on the coast, and obviously in Norfolk there's a wonderful coast too. But it was only when I reduced my working hours that I thought about joining the Ramblers. Organised walking just didn't seem to be on my radar when I was working full time. So that's a barrier I'm keen to break down. What will attract younger working people to join this fantastic organisation? And I know that's not going to be an issue across the country, but certainly the group I usually walk with has an average age of about 70. And in fact, our leader has just celebrated her 80th birthday, which is a great testament to the health benefits of getting out and about in the countryside and walking. But I do appreciate this may not be the case elsewhere in the country, and there are clearly different challenges in inner cities and more deprived areas. But I love the Ramblers' focus on inclusion and access, and I want to be able to use my experience, which is in engagement, inclusion, and even income generation, to support the Ramblers with their 2024 and beyond strategic ambitions, particularly around reaching communities who have the least access and face the most barriers. And in my view, that includes digital exclusion. I have broad experience which I think will add value to the work of the Ramblers. I acknowledge that this has been from the executive perspective, but I do understand the noses in, fingers out approach that Ross brilliantly talked about on the recent call. So my professional background has long been in the charity sector across infrastructure, health and education, and I have worked alongside boards for many years. I think an effective trustee acts as a critical friend to the executive team. And what I have always loved about working in the charity sector is the collaboration between people with a range of skills, which leads to a better outcome for beneficiaries delivered through an effective strategy. The Ramblers is clearly a forward-thinking organisation, and the proposed governance changes enabling wider participation will ensure the charity listens to the needs of its beneficiaries. For me, user engagement and feedback are at the heart of continuous improvement, and these approaches very much align with my personal values of collaboration, inclusion, and behaving with integrity. So I do hope my application is of interest, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for taking the time to watch my recording. I am Florence Orban, and I am standing to become a trustee of Ramblers, should you think that I have the skills, the experience, and the passion for that role. I have been a member of Ramblers for a few years and an active hiker all my life in France and in the UK. We moved to Buckinghamshire 2 years ago and joined the Amersham group, where I am committee secretary and area representative. I have extensive experience as a trustee of both large and small charities, and how a board can lead the strategic direction of an organization and work effectively with the executive team in a constructive manner. My professional experience has been at senior director level in marketing, communications, fundraising, and digital transformation. I worked for a charity for blind children and St. John Ambulance, and I know firsthand of the vital role that volunteers play in the success, the innovation, and the day-to-day delivery of services and experiences. I am also passionate about opportunities for disenfranchised communities, young people not in work or education, and people with disabilities. I was enthused by the new Ramblers strategy, Access for All, and the work in place to ensure that more people from disadvantaged backgrounds can benefit from walking and its impact on physical and mental health. Finally, as a volunteer and walker, I have direct experience of our groups, the challenges faced in recruiting and supporting volunteers. I believe there is more we can do to share initiatives at local and area level and to promote the critical work that Ramblers do to influence national policy and to protect and maintain access to our pathways. I hope you find this useful. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Heather and I live in Manchester. I've been a keen walker for many years, but I only joined the Ramblers a year ago. I think it's a fantastic charity, and I know personally that it's good for my physical fitness and also my mental health. There's about 100,000 members in the Ramblers, but I think there's so many more people who could benefit from walking in nature. And I'm especially interested in helping the organisation reach out to those people who experience the biggest barriers to walking. In terms of my experience, I've been a trustee of 3 charities in the past. I also have senior leadership experience in the private and the charity sector. In my last 2 roles, as CEO of a refugee support charity and also a mental health charity, I've been directly involved in supporting clients to get out into nature, to walk and to exercise. And I'm really keen to bring those insights into the Ramblers to help them improve their diversity of the people who walk with Ramblers. I've also got experience in developing strategic direction and in demonstrating impact and outcomes. And I like working as part of a team, so I would very much welcome the opportunity to work with the Board of Trustees for the Ramblers.
Hello everyone, I'm Frances. I retired last September from a role with the NHS as Head of Research and Innovation for a Scottish Health Board. I've spent the last 40 years involved in health and medical research and development and higher education in different ways, and at least half of that time supporting activity that addresses health inequities and improving equitable access to healthcare. My professional experience in senior executive management and ministerial roles in the UK, US and Australia has been across several sectors: global commercial industry, higher education, health systems and health service delivery, but always with an eye to applied outcomes that deliver positive change. I've worked in partnership with governments, non-government agencies, charities, foundations, private companies, startups and large industry. I believe my experience in innovation, constrained and competitive funding environments, collaborative working and partnership development would be of value to the Ramblers board as the refreshed strategy moves forward. The Ramblers as an organisation fosters and encourages engagement with the natural environment, sowing the seeds of environmental care and sustainable use and deeper connection with our natural world. Engaging actively with the local environment and community as a volunteer has been a focus for me wherever I've lived, currently as a volunteer gardener in my local National Trust garden, as a volunteer with the Argyll Countryside Trust Rainforest Alliance team, and of course as a walk leader with the Ramblers. Volunteering with the Ramblers to play a part in increasing access to the walking environment and enabling the wider benefits of active engagement with our diverse landscapes is an inspiring privilege. I have always been a purposeful walker, trained by my father from an early age, engaging consciously with whatever environment I find myself in. When I first moved to Argyll in 2023, joining the Ramblers was the best thing I could have done. Each of our walks increases my knowledge and understanding of where I now live, increasing my own physical, social and cultural capital, but also contributing to that of others, the tangible and intangible benefits of Ramblers membership. The ethos, principles and objectives of the Ramblers align very closely with my own, and the refreshed strategy struck a chord with me from my professional experience with the focus on inclusion, increased access and partnership. I would be delighted to have the opportunity to join the board in supporting the delivery of the refreshed strategy and its aims to increase membership, access, inclusiveness and reach. Thank you for the opportunity to be considered.
I'm Yvonne Reddick. I'm a writer, filmmaker and keen hiker and climber. I'm applying to become a trustee because I can offer Ramblers a unique combination of strategic EDI expertise, fundraising and governance experience, and a deep personal commitment to walking, outdoor safety, and access to nature. I'm keen to help Ramblers strengthen its governance, broaden participation, and ensure that everyone can enjoy the outdoors safely and equitably. At the university where I work, in my role as a Ramblers volunteer walk leader, and in my British Mountaineering Council Club, I uphold Equality Act 2010 compliance and help to foster an inclusive culture free from racism and sexual harassment. From 2018 to 2021, I served on the board of the charity Magma Poetry, where I led successful funding bids to Arts Council England and the Arts and Humanities Research Council. My background in hiking, scrambling and alpine mountaineering, and my leadership of technical walks for Ramblers give me a strong grounding in outdoor safety governance and outdoor risk management. As an environmental documentary producer and keen advocate for Britain's precious mountain wildlife, I look forward to bringing my skills, expertise and experience to Ramblers' mission to keep the outdoors safe, sustainable and protected.
Hello, my name's David Rogers and I joined Ramblers 3 years ago simply because I wanted some company while I was walking. What I found was a welcoming local group and gradually a charity with far greater potential than I first realised. Professionally, I'm a chartered environmentalist and professor of freshwater biology. For over 30 years, I've also worked as an independent expert witness in environmental biology, including appointments as a court-appointed expert. That experience has taught me the importance of evidence, clarity and defensible decision-making, especially when the issues are complex or contested. Ramblers members collectively hold an extraordinarily large untapped understanding of the countryside, its paths, its wildlife and the pressures on it. As a trustee, I would help ensure board decisions are evidence-led, proportionate and make responsible use of this grassroots insight to inform strategy, partnerships and advocacy. At a local level, as chair of the Colville Group, I've seen how small changes can make a big difference. We've introduced shorter and part walks to support refugees, people recovering from surgery and others for whom the first step is the hardest. Using simple digital tools, we've strengthened inclusion and grown our community from around 250 to 750 members in 2 years. I'm standing as a trustee because I believe Ramblers is strongest when there is a clear two-way connection between members and the board, with grassroots experience shaping strategy and strategy clearly understood by everyone. I believe that my professional background, governance experience, and local walking insight would help support this. Thank you for considering my application.
Hello, my name's Phoebe Taplin and I'm a freelance writer. I write mostly about walking and car-free travel, and I'm a regular contributor to The Guardian, Sunday Times, Walk Magazine, Country Walking, lots of others. I'm based in Bishop's Stortford between Hertfordshire and Essex, and my dozen or so published books include a couple of local walking guides. As part of my work, I've researched and written more than 1,000 walking routes all over the UK, and I'm hoping this on-the-ground knowledge might be useful as a Ramblers trustee. Writing about footpaths is a bit of a family tradition. My mum, Kim Taplin, who died in 2024, was a lifelong rambler and wrote a book called The English Path about footpaths in literature. But widening access to the countryside is also something I feel very strongly about myself. I'm hoping my media experience, my years of exploring and celebrating UK landscapes might be useful. I'd love to support the Ramblers in any way I can, to champion our rights of way and to help more people enjoy walking.
Hi, I'm Andy Wright, and I've been a member of the Derbyshire Dales Group since October 2024. As an active participant and walk leader, I've seen firsthand how the Ramblers connects people with the countryside and their community. I believe the walking environment is really important for health and well-being and must be protected and expanded for everyone. I'm standing for the board to combine my lived insight from a lifetime of walking with high-level professional expertise. My background includes an executive career at a major bank in London, where latterly I served as chief executive of a regulated subsidiary in the investment funds industry. I bring skills in strategy, governance, and financial control, amongst others. Additionally, as a former charity chair and director, I helped secure funding from major grant-making trusts and navigated the reporting requirements of the Charity Commission and the Companies Act. I also hold the Financial Times Non-Executive Director Diploma. The board has identified a need for expertise in fundraising and financial sustainability. I bring experience of successfully stewarding high-value donor relationships and meeting financial objectives through different economic cycles. As trustee, with your support, I'll provide strategic oversight and constructive challenge to ensure the Ramblers supports its existing members and volunteers effectively, reaches more people from all backgrounds, and delivers on its strategy. I'm fully committed to the Ramblers' vision of a country where everyone can benefit from the outdoors on foot. Thank you.